The 16th century. In England, it was the Elizabethan age. In Japan, a time of brutal civil war. The time of the samurai. The country had been torn apart as powerful clans fought each other for supremacy. Each warlord had his own private army of samurai, Japanese knights, dedicated to battle and honor, and loyal to the death. This is the story of the greatest samurai general of them all. His achievements would match those of Caesar and Napoleon. He'd found a dynasty that would rule Japan for 250 years, and whose ruthless philosophy would shape it until our modern age. And at the biggest battle in samurai history, he would gamble everything in one of the most bizarre military decisions ever made.
He will kill us all.
Then what have we got to lose?
His name was Tokugawa Ieyasu, and he was to become the Shogun.
The way of the warrior says I have no designs. I make seizing the opportunity my design. The way of the warrior says I have no principles. I make adaptability my principle. This is how I followed the way of the warrior. Seize the opportunity and the power. It all began with a child.
My lord, the Taiko has asked for you.
On the 18th of September, 1598, the eyes of Japan were on a 6-year-old boy. His father, the country's supreme ruler, known as the Taiko, lay dying. Among the nobles present, Ishida Mitsunari, the Taiko's loyal minister, and Tokugawa Ieyasu, the country's most powerful warlord. The rivalry between these two men would shape the future of Japan.
Hideyori, I'm sorry, my son. Mitsunari.
My lord.
My good, faithful Mitsunari. Ieyasu. I want you both to promise me you'll stand together as allies until my son is old enough to rule. Keep Japan united.
Both Ieyasu and Mitsunari swore to work together in a ruling council. This would govern until the Taiko's son was of age. But in reality, Ieyasu had no intention of supporting the boy.
We have to get ready, my son, for the coming chaos. Do you think me dishonorable, disloyal for plotting against the Taiko's son? The way of the warrior puts loyalty above all things. But loyalty to whom? Your leader? Your country? Your family? Let me tell you about loyalty. 20 years ago, I was just a minor lord, and I served a man more powerful than me. And my master said, "Your eldest son, Nobuyasu, I hear he plots against me." Either he dies, or your family will be wiped out. Even though the accusation was unjust, my son chose the honorable course. I kept the swords that Nobuyasu used, a reminder that loyalties can conflict. This boy is now my heir, Hidetada, a young man impatient for power.
I want to be part of the fight. I'm not a boy.
We may not need to fight if we plan and move carefully. Hidetada, you were a gift. Born the year your brother, born the year Nobuyasu died.
So I live the rest of my life, wrapped in silk because of Nobuyasu?
I've tried to protect you.
I don't need protecting. What I need is a chance to prove myself.
Until you can learn to think before you act, you can do exactly as I say. And I say, we use politics, not war.
After months of careful preparation, Ieyasu made his first move.
My lord, I've seen to it you have everything you need for a safe and pleasant journey.
He sent the Taiko's son away from Fushimi and the intrigues of court. It was the opening gambit in a deliberately planned strategy of provocation. And Ieyasu expected a swift reaction from Mitsunari and the ruling council. He didn't have to wait long. Tori Mototada was Ieyasu's loyal samurai retainer. His family had served and protected his master's clan for generations.
So, I finally get my own bed back.
It's me.
We can see.
Who are they?
Mitsunari's men.
Mitsunari? I'll kill him.
You'll do nothing, understand? You will leave Mitsunari to me. You'll do nothing. Why didn't I act against Mitsunari? The way of the warrior says, make impatience your enemy. Mitsunari was predictable. A pen pusher, not a soldier. One should be in no hurry to remove an opponent you know you can beat. Of course, I hadn't planned on the reaction of my hot-headed son Hidetada, along with Naomasa, one of my generals. He traced Mitsunari to a friend's mansion.
Surround the place.
Make way for her ladyship.
Where's Mitsunari?
He was seen here.
The manner of Mitsunari's escape is notorious in Japan. But what he did next was more extraordinary. Instead of fleeing to his castle or rallying his allies, he put his faith in the samurai code of honor and went straight to his enemy's mansion.
You know, if you had some decent makeup, Mitsunari, maybe did something with your hair. They're always looking for geisha in Osaka.
I'm flattered.
Odd coincidence, don't you think? Assassins drop in on me a couple of nights back, and now someone's chasing you.
We live in dangerous times.
We certainly live in strange ones.
Don't play games with me, Ieyasu. Call off your son.
And why should I do that?
All I've ever done my entire life is serve the Taiko's family, before and after his death.
You're scared. You want my protection.
What do you want?
You retire to your castle in Sawayama. Stay there. Get that makeup. Find a nice man.
You are not the Taiko. To order me...
No, I'm not the Taiko. And I'm not ordering you. It's your choice, Mitsunari. Exile. Or I reveal. You tried to murder me.
Ieyasu had Mitsunari where he wanted him, alive but weakened. Now he began to tighten his grip on power. He ousted 2 other members of the ruling council and occupied the Taiko seat at Fushimi Castle. He married his daughters off to the sons of other powerful warlords, so potential enemies became allies. It looked as if Ieyasu would take control of Japan through politics, not war. And then, in the east, a samurai lord began to gather his army in protest at Ieyasu's actions. For Ieyasu, putting down these rebels would confirm his authority. But he still needed the approval of the Taiko's son, in whose name he claimed to act. That meant securing the support of the boy's guardian, his cousin, Hideaki, a young man with whom Ieyasu had history.
Ride like a madman.
I need to keep up with you. How's the boy?
Missing his father. If you've come here to ask for my support, I can't give it.
You know, Hideaki, if your uncle was alive, he'd deal with the rebels just as I will. In helping me, you'd be doing your uncle's work. Wasn't that our promise? To keep the peace?
Is that what I'd be doing? Or would I just be helping you?
Then you'll have to decide if you trust me. Hideaki, 5 years ago you came back from battle. And Mitsunari advised the Taiko the best thing you could do was to pull a sword straight across your guts. He said you were a disgrace, that you deserved death.
I failed. I led my troops to defeat.
You were a boy, sent to do a man's job.
I know. You were the one who spoke up for me.
It wasn't hard to do. I didn't want to see another young life wasted. I know this isn't easy for you. But someone has to hold Japan together. Like it or not, that's you and me.
Now confident he had Hideaki's blessing and therefore official authority, Ieyasu led his army out of Fushimi. His plan was to rendezvous with Hideaki before striking east against the so-called rebels. But he was to be disappointed. Instead of joining Ieyasu, Hideaki went over to the other side. Now it was Mitsunari who claimed the Taiko's authority, and with Ieyasu miles to the east, Mitsunari marched on Fushimi. Ieyasu had left only his samurai retainer, Mototada, and a few hundred men to guard his rear. They were outnumbered 20 to 1.
Is not the way of the warrior.
To be ashamed and avoid death. It is to die for your master. To die with honor.
Mototada could have surrendered to Hideaki, or even tried to escape. But that would have meant living with the shame of losing his master's castle. Instead, he chose to follow the way of the warrior.
We march at first light. Confront Ieyasu.
We don't need to confront him. Ieyasu is weakened. He can be forced to negotiate.
You didn't think this was it, did you? Fushimi is just the first step. We leave tomorrow. Get your men ready.
I underestimated Mitsunari. Mototada fought to the last. He died for our family. Now we have no choice. The chaos is here. A full-scale civil war. It's not what I wanted, and we have a duty to end it quickly. Our troops will advance from two directions. I'll take 30,000 men along the South Road. Hidetada, 40,000 men will take the North Road. Under you. You're not a boy.
Thank you, Father.
Don't let me down.
this was the start of a brutal civil war in Japan. Heading out from Edo, Ieyasu, now cast as a traitor, tried to pick off Mitsunari's allies in a series of battles. Mitsunari, his ranks swollen by many warlords loyal to the Taiko's family, approached from the west, aiming to attack Ieyasu's power base. Eventually, Mitsunari and his allies converged on Ogaki, 12 miles from the vital crossroads of Sekigahara, which controlled access to all parts of Japan. In mid-October 1600, Ieyasu himself arrived. Already there, waiting for him, his general Naomasa. The two sides were now separated by a narrow valley.
Mitsunari's pitched camp at Ogaki Castle. He's up there in numbers.
Where's Hidetara? I don't see his banner.
I've sent messengers.
When?
A week ago.
He's got half our army.
He knows that, my lord.
What Ieyasu didn't know was that Hidetada had been needlessly waylaid besieging the castle of one of Mitsunari's allies. Ieyasu badly needed his son's troops.
You should try to sleep.
You know, tomorrow is 21 years to the day of my boy's death.
Ieyasu.
They said he was a traitor, conspiring against the Lord I served. It wasn't true, but he had to die. There was nothing I could do. He had to die, or our family would have been destroyed. That was the choice. He was required to prove my loyalty. To loyalty.
The next day, Mitsunari made his move. He prepared plans to seize Sekigahara, aiming to use the crossroads to bypass Ieyasu, perhaps even attack his rear. And Mitsunari had a critical strategic advantage. Hideaki, the Taiko's nephew, had taken up position on Mount Matsuo, which overlooked the crossroads itself.
Leave me. Looking forward to it?
To what?
Putting down a rebellion, wiping out the usurper.
What is it with you, Mitsunari? You like watching people die?
Ieyasu deserves what's coming.
Ieyasu saved my life. When you would have seen me killed.
That was a long time ago. I misjudged you. I'm sorry. I know you don't like me. But when this is over, I'd like you to consider a proposal. I'd like you to become my chancellor.
Your chancellor? You mean until Hideyori is of age?
Of course. Of course. All I ask is that you attack Ieyasu the moment I send up my flare. You're in a good position here.
Evening of the 20th of October, 1600, Mitsunari's army left Ogaki, heading towards Sekigahara.
They are marching towards Sekigahara.
Of course they are. They want the crossroads.
We need to withdraw and regroup.
If we withdraw now, we lose.
My lord, without Hidetada, we are under strength.
Hidetada's dead to me. Do you understand? This is from Hideaki.
You are relying on Hideaki?
He says he's made a mistake. He's no longer fooled by Mitsunari.
And you believe him?
Why lie?
Because that is what he does. Motodada died because of him.
Are you questioning me? Are you? We'll find out the truth. Soon enough. At Sekigahara.
Ieyasu was now risking everything on a confused young man who had already betrayed him once before. This was Ieyasu's first great gamble that day. It would not be his last. As they prepared for battle, both sides were pinning their hopes on Hideaki, positioned on Mount Matsuo. Ieyasu was gambling that Hideaki would defect and join battle on his side. Mitsunari was confident that Hideaki would attack Ieyasu on the agreed signal. Sekigahara was the biggest gathering of samurai in Japanese history. Without his heir, Hidetada, Ieyasu promoted his younger son, Tadayoshi, to uphold the family's honor in combat.
I want you to take Tadayoshi into battle. Look after him. Make me proud.
Would you like to take a look at their front line, Tadayoshi?
The battle began well for Ieyasu's forces. But samurai combat was no longer just a test of sword skill. Cannons and arquebuses, weapons introduced by Jesuit missionaries, played their part. And all the while, Hideaki remained rooted on top of his hill.
Come on, Hideaki. What's stopping you?
Slowly, Mitsunari's men began to prevail.
Bring up the reserves!
Where's Tadayoshi?
We got separated.
Signal Hideaki. Oh.
My lord, that's our signal.
Prepare for a flank assault by Hideaki.
Oh.
What is he doing?
What's he waiting for? He's wavering. He can't decide.
Lord Mitsunari says, you must engage now.
Fire on Hideaki.
Oh! My lord, have you lost your mind? You will bring him down on us.
He has to choose which side he's on. Someone has to make him choose.
He will kill us all.
Then what have we got to lose?
It was an extraordinary gamble, firing on the man that Ieyasu wanted as his ally.
My lord, Ieyasu's cannon!
Prepare to attack.
be? He can't do this to me. Hideaki is attacking us.
Ieyasu's decision to fire on Hideaki has entered Japanese legend. He had understood something deep inside the young man's psychology that day. It seems Hideaki's mistrust of Mitsunari and his debt of honor to Ieyasu outweighed any other loyalty, even to his own family. That choice proved decisive for the future of Japan.
You've got something to say?
It will keep, my lord.
For Ieyasu, it was a bitter victory. The day after the battle, his son Hidetada finally arrived near Sekigahara. He was met by his brother. Hidetada's failure had brought dishonor upon himself and his family. There could be only one way to make amends. The way of the warrior is found in death.
Just tell him to do it.
You should see him first.
He knows what to do. Just make sure he acts like a true samurai, like his brother did.
I'm sorry, my lord. But your victory makes you the most powerful man in Japan. No one is making you do this. You do not have to do this.
I'm sorry, Father. I know my duty.
"21 years ago, I had to prove my loyalty. and I lost a son. Now my loyalty is to my family. And I'll be damned if I'll lose another.
Mitsunari was hunted down. After being paraded through the streets of Osaka in chains, he was beheaded. 2 years after Sekigahara, and unable to live with the choices he had made, Hideaki lost his mind and died. At the age of 21, the Taiko's son, Hideyori, led a rebellion against Ieyasu. It failed, and he took his own life. By then, Ieyasu had taken the title of the Shogun, master of all Japan. His family ruled unchallenged for the next 250 years.